All right, I got my mic back on. Hopefully, maybe I just accidentally hit the off button or something. No, yeah. I'm just trying to see if my mic is like out of battery. I'm pretty sure I plugged it in for a little bit, but I didn't plug it in for a full charge. Anyway, I got my energy drink, and I don't know what part. What was I saying? All right. I'm putting a user in timeout for 24 hours. There you go. Hey, what's up, Sapphire? And we got a number of other folks here. Folks are like asking, "Oh, you're back in the slab?" It's like, "Yeah, dude. I've been I've been in and out for a while. If if you're not sure what the fuck is going on, go back and fucking catch up. I know there's a lot going on." But yeah, so I kind of just wanted to talk about like my real honest ideas about Babylon. But first, I want to ask you in chat, what do you guys think my opinion on Babylon is? I want you to tell me. Tell me how I feel. Some of you are really good at that every other time. So now when I want you to tell me how I feel, you better fucking put up or shut up. All right, this is still on. Good. All right. What are my thoughts on Babylon, chat? Anybody? I see sapphires. I want a few more. You guys got to tell me because I need to drink my drink here. I just want to see where folks are at. What do you guys think? Because I'll tell you, and we've got 55 more minutes or so, depending on how much you guys get me riffing. If nobody in chat gives a fuck about how I feel about society in Babylon, then I'm not gonna waste my fucking breath. So it's up to you guys. Otherwise, this would just be another fucking piss stream, and I'll be mad at you guys for not fucking throwing down $5. Fucking unless fuck you, pay me. I will drop knowledge if you want, or I won't if you don't want. But I gotta know. Where do you think I stand? Hey, what's up, Zoe? New Speak is new to the chat. Already triggered. Off to a poor start. What do you think my thoughts on civilization are? That's to everybody, even if you already know. Because this is not the first time I've mentioned it. I fucking talk about how I feel about society, like, in most of my streams. It's not a mystery. What advice does 5 get you? If you send me $5, then you can ask me for some advice, and I'll devote at least a few minutes to giving you some advice. Newspeak says, if the shoe fits. Right, yeah. Like I said, already triggered. Awesome, we got some new folks in chat. And they're getting banned immediately. Goodbye. There we go. How do I feel about Babylon? How many of you know where I am right now? Send an emoji in chat. Send me your favorite emoji in chat and tell me where you think I am. Let's go. Huh, Satan? Huh, Satan? Come here. Come here. Come here, bub. Right here. Hey, what's up, Aaron? Oh, exploring Idaho. Hey, you're the person. Yeah, I remember you from. That's right. I fucking. What's your name? Yeah, totally. Yeah. Exploring Idaho is experiencing a very traumatic time in their life, and it depends on how, like, what type of injury you have. Like, you know, it sounds like it was a motorcycle accident or something, so there's probably a lot of, you know, mangling and stuff. It really depends, but yeah, and it also depends on what kind of surgeries you have. But it took me about 2 years after my accident to start to be able to walk again on a prosthetic. So that's just me. But I also had a few revisions as well. Exploring Idaho says we go way back. Hell yeah, dude. I have bad recall, except like when when it comes to like remembering specific conversations or like settings or times, or like, you know, I can remember who a person is based on their like sometimes their picture, but I also can be kind of face blind too. It really depends. Also, I meet thousands of people a month, so if I don't recall, then it's not anything personal. Digital Hobo says Slab City Library. Hey, I am in Slab City Library. Aaron says Burbank. Yes, also true. Slab City Library is a fictional place that exists only in a warehouse in Burbank. This is a high-end production. Looks very real. Just kidding. This is as real as it gets, buddy. So I'm in Slab City. How many of you know what Slab City is? Anybody? Tell me in chat. I want you guys to fucking do a little legwork here. What is Slab City? Oh, shit. Here we go. RV Flies says Camp Dunlap. Kind of true. Anybody else? What do y'all know about Slab City? I want to hear what you all know. Even if you learned it from me. I want to know what y'all know. Exploring Idaho says during World War II there was a huge base there, then later on they closed it and tore all the buildings down, and that's where they got the word slabs from, big concrete pads from the building. Yes, that is true. Anybody else? There's more to it than that. Oops. I want to crowdsource. I want to know what the general public knows that is interested in this type of thing. Rosie says, off-grid community on an old military base. Been following you for 6 years. You taught me. Hell yeah, Rosie. Digital Hobo says, the last free place on earth, a true anarchist community. That is a little bit, what's the word? Idealistic, I would say. A little idealistic. But like, as far as like colloquially, you're not wrong. But I would say like as far as like the actual place and community goes, it's not exactly correct. And also in context to other places of the world, and the fact that, you know, like, what is it free? You know, is it really? Zoe says off-grid communities. RV Flies says Slabs is called lawless, but it's not. Fuck around, find out is a thing. Yup. Rosie says also near the Walton Sea. Okay, Salton Sea, which was once an elite resort, but now has become toxic. That's a really good thing to mention. I'm gonna keep reading what people have to say, like, about what is Slab City. How many of you know about the Salton Sea? Chat, I want you to all tell me, what is the Salton Sea and what is the history of the Salton Sea? Let's go. Now's your time. Fucking all you knowledgeable keyboard warriors that have been doing all this crazy research trying to figure stuff out about Slab City. I've talked about all of this stuff so many times. Now I want some of you to fucking tell me what you know. Exploring Idaho says it was formed when the Colorado River detoured itself, then later on was used for nuclear testing. I actually don't. I didn't hear about nuclear testing. That is interesting. Is that chat? Verify that. I can't look on my phone right now because if I do, my stream is gonna drop. Oh, I'm like that Wojak, like somebody make a Wojak of me. Oh, my phone is over there, so if I use it, that's what I'm hotspotting this phone on. So I can't track that. Was there nuclear testing on the Salton Sea area? Salton Sea is in Bombay Beach. No, Bombay Beach is on the Salton Sea. Bombay Beach is a town on the Salton Sea. Rosie says, I know it was built as a huge resort town for rich people, but failed, especially within a few years. Why did it fail? Class, anybody know? Why did the Salton Sea... Why resorts go abandoned on Salton Sea? Why do it happen? Digital Hobo says, used to be a great place. They built until it went to shit and the salt got too bad and started killing off fish, and then they just left it, and it has a small community of people who live there now. Not quite. Close, not quite. Sapphire says, caused by an agricultural flood, became a huge lake, was a resort for a long time, but then shit started dying because the water was just stagnant and there was nothing coming in or going out. Aaron says, because it killed fish. Exploring Idaho said, I misspoke. They didn't do nuclear testing, but they dropped simulated bombs on how they would fall in accuracy. There is a bombing range near Slab City. That's not Bombay Beach. Although it is interesting that it's called Bombay. I wonder if there's something to that. I have no idea. But there is a bombing range. Like, literally, I can see it from here. It's just across the canal over there. So the fish started dying in the Salton Sea because there was all of the canal was routed from the Colorado River to bring water to agriculture out here in this area. I don't know if it was the canal from the Colorado River or like another part of it coming down from the north rather than the northeast. I'm not sure. But when they brought the canal through, it ruptured and it filled the Salton Sink, which of course turned it into a lake. It would have turned into a lake at some point in history, as it was back in prehistoric times, but because of this human error, that's what filled it. And it was nice for a while until, you know, when the water evaporates, it leaves all the agricultural runoff in the lake, and at a certain point it reached critical mass and things can't live in it. So all the fish that were living in it died. And the resort beach towns that they had built in the 70s or in the fucking 50s and 60s, suddenly in the 70s were just on this apocalyptic cesspool. So all of those towns failed, and now they're like little ghost towns, and they have cool raves every now and then. But anyway, what does that have to do with Babylon? Babylon. What is Babylon? Why do I say Babylon? Anybody know? That is something that slabbers call society and civilization. I used to think that I hated civilization. I used to think that I hated society and that I hated humans because humans were responsible for creating all of this destruction on this planet. And not only does it affect us, but it affects all other life on this planet. And that pissed me off. And also being neurodivergent and just generally different, I was never afforded a place to be in society. So society never protected me. You know, I have like white privilege to an extent, but I also have like a number of like not privileges, I guess, disadvantages, and just never had a place in society. And that's what ended up leading me here to Slab City. Babylon, like biblical type Solomon shit. Yeah, like civilization, like the towers that they build in the city in Babylon, trying to play God, thinking that they're, you know, that they're gonna reach the heavens that way, and they're not. Their cities are crumbling. But what I have learned since kind of returning to Babylon, not like fully integrating, is that most of the things that I hate about Babylon are symptoms of capitalism and colonialism. So it's not like all of humanity and civilization that I hate. I hate capitalism and colonialism. White supremacy being a symptom of those things. And I've started having thoughts a lot in the past couple of years about like what that implies. You know, it's like all of the potential of our species has been completely hijacked by the ruling class, and they're using us as basically generators. We generate capital for them, and they create need for us so that we are stuck in this machine that serves the ruling class, and that's Babylon. That doesn't mean that society in general is also part of that. It has been co-opted by the ruling class. But, you know, up until a few hundred years ago, we were participating in cultures and societies without an overarching global ruling class. And that was a very nice time for our human species. We made a lot of technological leaps. We had incredible art. You know, there was obviously still war, but it wasn't like global war that will permanently destabilize this planet. You know, it was more like people out in fields fucking brutalizing each other as God intended, you know, with swords and horses and shit, you know. Now we got nuclear bombs and we're fucking blowing up fucking oil fields and shit, and like there's no turning back from this unless we really get serious. Like, capitalist society and imperialism is not sustainable, especially at this scale. On smaller scales, you know, back in like tribal days and stuff, where there was like a township or something, rather than like entire continents under rule, like, sure, you know, those faults in the system won't manifest in as devastating of a way as they do in this global imperialism. Sapphire says, I agree that Babylon is on the verge of collapse, and those who know how to take care of themselves and survive off-grid are going to be the ones who survive it all. Well, that's the thing. Babylon is currently collapsing. It may take like over the course of the rest of your lifetime. But that's the thing. Like, our human lifetimes are pretty fucking short compared to like cycles, and, you know, multiple generation cycles. Like, that's the thing, is we forget things so quickly, and if things don't happen with like immediacy, we don't really register it. But this has been a slow burn apocalypse for like, I don't know, the last couple generations. You gotta, you know, the movies make you think that there's gonna be like a giant tidal wave that sweeps through, and then you'll be like, oh, this is it, this is the apocalypse, or you're gonna see a fucking nuke going off in the distance and like somehow survive, and now you're in a fucking radiated post-apocalyptic world just like the very next day, you know, after surviving this, and then suddenly everything changes. That's not how it's gonna go. That's not how it's been going. Like, things have radically changed in the last 100 years in a big way. And it has been an apocalypse for people, especially in the global south, where Western civilization has been using it as their training ground and for resource extraction. It's already been the apocalypse for a lot of the world. And not just like humans, but literally like the extermination of entire species as well because of our mismanagement of the planet. I'm gonna get up and take a look at somebody that just drove through my yard and make sure they're not fucking around or something. I'll be right back. Y'all tell me how you feel about capitalism. Hey, there's a lizard. What's up, lizard? Hello. Oh shit. It's 104 degrees. There's a little lizard crawling around over there. All right. Hi, Satan. Yeah, it's a nice, cool 104 degrees right now. Let's see. Ashley says, straight up love you. Hell yeah, thanks. We need a new system in the world besides capitalism. Yes, well, you know, that's the thing is we need to be building that system. We need to start like immediately. It's not like, you know, we can't go to war with the US government. It's the most funded military in the world. Like that's just not feasible. They've already been killing people in the streets. You know, I don't know how many people they arrested during the No Kings protest yesterday or how many people they brutalized, possibly killed. Who knows? They don't give a fuck. They want us dead. Honestly, there's too many of us now. We're becoming unmanageable, and they don't like that. So they're gonna be culling the herds. That's why they don't care about destabilizing the planet. Genuinely, and they're going to actively keep doing it. So we need to be. That's why I do what I do. Like I'm not doing this like as a fun, like, fucking, kind of like I'm not trying to be like edgy and rebellious. Like we need to be building these fucking systems now. We can't wait for society to be collapsed and then be like, oh shit, what do we do now? Like fucking build something. All of you. I'm serious. All of you. Anybody that stands around and asks like, why aren't we doing something? Like, why aren't you doing something? Why aren't you, specifically you, talking about why everybody else isn't doing something? Fucking do it. Like build a community space and host people so that they can talk about these things, because like this separation that Babylon creates between people is by design. When you are separate from your community, you are weak and powerless. When you hang out regularly, even with like 5 other people, or like, you know, have a common space where you can just exist without the guise of either making money or spending money, then suddenly that becomes like a battery. That's where culture and society is born, not through the ruling class allowing us to have things. We naturally do that. That's what I believe as an anarchist. Like the key to fixing things is to reject the system and go ahead and start creating a new one and using it, not waiting for the other one. We don't have to destroy that one to start doing our shit. We can just start doing our shit. We can do that. We should be doing it already. We should have been doing it 20 years ago. Some people are. And you know, I'm not the first one to think about it. You aren't the first people to think about it. People have been living outside of imperialist capitalist society already. and we can learn from them. You know, it's not our fault that our education systems in the U.S. have been completely annihilated and we lack like critical thinking skills, but that's not an excuse to fucking stay in that ignorance. You need to take charge of your own education and learn about critical thinking and reading comprehension and how to have a constructive dialogue, how to engage in discourse and debate, and you know, that type of thing. Like critical fucking thinking skills. You need those. And you also need to start participating in community. Let's Exploring Idaho says, do you still have your bus? No, I sold it 2 years ago to another community member. Rosie says everyone needs to learn and grow their own. Not necessarily. That's no, because in collectivism, like that, I mean, you're almost there. But like the idea of individualism is a colonial idea that separates us. We don't like it. Yes, it is good to know how to do all sorts of things, but not everybody should do that. Not everybody is capable of that. You know, some people are really fucking good at one thing and that's all they want to do. And as a society, like we can benefit from that if we can create systems where we can share the talents and the specialized skills that we have with each other. You know, not everybody's a gardener and not everybody's a warrior, not everybody's a librarian, not everybody's an artist, not everybody's an entertainer. Not everybody can build computers, you know. Like we only have so much brain capacity. Collectivizing is the way of the future. And non-hierarchical social roles. What's good, blue collar grows. I said, huge fan here. Rosie says, heard, love that perspective. Hell yeah. I mean, it doesn't hurt. Like, I think most people, like, I do think everybody should understand the basics of food production, you know, but not everybody needs to be growing their own food if you're living in a collective. But yeah, everybody should know the basics of like most things. Like if schools actually educated people, we would all know how to check the fluids in our vehicles and the air pressure in our tires. You know, like basic ass shit. We would all know how to fucking use power tools, at least somewhat. We would all know how to identify like good water and bad water and how long our fucking eggs are okay at room temperature and whether butter can be refrigerated or unrefrigerated and whether, you know, how long onions can be stored in a cellar for. We would all know how to can. We would all know that, you know, they're like how to germinate a seed. Like maybe, you know, maybe you might not understand the basics of like food grafting or like turning a crop or like rotating crops or whatever, but you would know like, you know, in order for a fucking seed to grow reliably, you have to germinate it first for a few days in a moist towel or something and then plant it, and here's the conditions that you would plant it in, like basic shit. And if education like actually educated, we would also know like how to shit. It's amazing how people don't know how to shit. Fucking you Babylonians, like people come out here and they're like, oh, there's no plumbing, like how do you shit? Sometimes they have the fucking gall to be like, oh, well, there's a canal, I would shit in that. Like, you fucking moron. Like, who normalized shitting in water? Like, that's insane to me. Like, especially with the amount of water shortages we're experiencing. What the fuck is wrong with people? Like, everybody should know what an outhouse is. Why do you people not know how to fucking dig a shithole? It's mind-blowing. Fucking mind-blowing. The rest of the world knows how to do all of these things. Us Americans are fucking children. We're little fucking baby children. People in in Babylon, Western colonial civilizations, Babylon, are like so helpless. They're trained to be helpless so that they need to be in this system that is actively killing the planet and destroying civilizations around the world that are thousands of years old and having absolutely like no respect for the other inhabitants of this planet. And fucking Americans are just like livestock to them. Babylon keeps you helpless. The best way for you as an American is to stick it to the man or whatever, is to reject that helplessness that you've been trained to accept. Stop being a big fucking baby. Put on your big kid pants and learn some shit and join the world stage in exchanging culture with each other. Learn about countries that our government has taught you to look down your nose on. You might be really progressive and you don't even realize that you're actually low-key racist against people in other countries. And just based on the misunderstanding that you have about how their cultures are. There is so much out there to learn, like, and it's being kept away from us. Like, and right now we're in a huge media blackout too. Like, it is impossible for Americans to get like reliable news on what's actually happening in the world. Like, do we have any folks in chat that are not from the US that have an opinion on any of this? I'm super interested. My advantage here, as far as like being in the library, is that the library has attracted people from all over the world. Slab City attracts people from all over the world, and the library reputation, of course, has brought a lot of interesting folks out here. So my real cutting edge is that I get to interact with people that are world travelers and have a lot more perspective than I do from different parts of the world. And I get to exchange with those people often, like in person, face to face. So that's a huge edge for me. And when I'm not here in Slab City, I'm also exchanging with people from around the world through my artistic endeavors in LA now. And before LA, in traveling across the continent here in the US and speaking to people from all walks of life across the US and getting a really good insight on what's going on the ground as far as the folks, the real actual sweat and blood folks, especially in rural places, because I didn't go to cities very much, but just getting that perspective on the ground has given me a huge advantage as far as kind of having a deeper understanding of what's actually going on in Babylon versus working class folks in rural areas as well. Let's see. All right, I'm gonna take a look at my shit. We still here? I'm gonna take a look at my money apps and see if anybody got down with the kickdown so I can give you a thank you. All right, let's take a look. And I really hope that my stream doesn't shit out because I only have so much bandwidth here. All right, let's take a look. Oh yeah, somebody did kick down hold on. Digital Hobo kicked down yesterday after my stream, so thank you so much, Digital Hobo. I really appreciate you. We also had Tanya Cheek. Oh, sorry. I don't usually read people's like first and last names, but Tanya kickdown on Cash App as well. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Yeah, I don't want to put anybody on blast that doesn't want their legal name just like out there. So sorry about that. Try to be careful about it. Hell yeah, Pete Henderson. Oh, dude, I did it again. Sorry, Pete. That my bad. Yes, that is. Oh, sorry. I don't want to put you on blast in chat if you don't want me to. But if you do want me to shout out your screen name, then I'll do that. But thank you so much. Intintola just kicked down through super chat. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I want to give you guys a reminder though, when you donate through super chat, 30% of that goes to Google, and I don't get paid until like end of next month. So I super appreciate you. Thank you, Inintola. But if you're sitting there and you're like, yo, I want to throw down some money for corn too, check out the links in the description, or one of my mods may post them. Or maybe I already did. No, not yet. Earlier, maybe. But yeah, one of my mods should post a link there so you can donate directly, and then I can withdraw it immediately. Aaron says, just ask, we got you. Yeah, hell yeah, Aaron, if you want to just throw those down. I do at some point want to have like a real payment plan for mods. Fucking, yeah. What, you know, at some point I'll break through and be able to provide for my basic needs. And at that point, I really do want to like at least offer some kind of reimbursement for mods. We'll work toward that. But in the meantime, thank you for your volunteer service. Hell yeah. Exploring Idaho says Venmo cool. Hell yeah, thank you so much. And hell yeah. Oops, I can't move this. Hell yeah, thank you so much, Exploring Idaho. Fantastic, and I also am available for support on your injury in the future. Anytime, just hit me up. I might not respond back immediately, but I will respond. Sick. All right, thank you guys so much. Bunch of sweeties. Thank you. Satan, can you move? Move. All right. Let's see. I feel like I should get Satan a treat, but I don't know if we have any left. I'm trying to see about getting deliveries out to the library again. What I've been kind of the last few days, you know, it was a heat wave. I couldn't use my computers or edit. Or build or anything. We did get up early a couple days and knock out some stuff, but then it was just like, you know, people got burnt out and then we got sick. Kind of put a stop to it. But I did pick up lumber and hardware and stuff and salvaged some other things and compiled them. So we'll be doing some rebuilds. And I just ordered a new inverter for the house, so we'll have 1,200 watts instead of 750. And I'm thinking I'll actually run 2 lines of power once there's enough to like put. I wanna augment the battery bank, but also I don't want to put a bunch of my money and my time into the space unless I know that these things will be maintained properly, because it's just like I don't want to have another Aurora thing happen, even like to a very small extent of what happened with Aurora. Like just like I don't want to come back to a fucking thrashed fucking power system again. So I'm kind of holding off a bit. I am making augmentations to the systems here, but I'm not doing it more than I'm sure that it can be like maintained and cared for and not abused and trashed, I guess. But I am doing some structural augmentations that, like, you know, won't need maintenance for a while. Hope, I mean, I'll build them sturdy as fuck so that, you know, like a good, like, over the kitchen, that roof needs to be built. And I'm repainting the signs too. I just ordered some spray paint nozzles so that I can finish, because the one that I was using is just like gunked up. I only have one spray paint nozzle for all of my spray paint cans, and I'm making a sick ass new. Actually, I did read that I could use soap and water to clean that out, because I got it all taped up and ready to go. I wanted to finish that fucking sign. Let me show you. Let me show you. Actually, hold on. I gotta take a piss first. I'm gonna leave this right here, and then I'll be right back. If any of you have any questions, then let me know, and I'll be right back. All right, let's see. I'm gonna show you guys around here a little bit again. Exploring Idaho says, I got you corn. The donations is well worth what I get out of listening to you, so thank you. Oh, see, you're so sweet, dude. I am glad you're here, and I appreciate you, man. I'm gonna walk across the library. I got this rag on the back here because my phone is getting hot. And I've got my other phone here. And that's what I'm hot spotting off of. So I'm not gonna move that, but I am gonna go kind of far from it. So you guys gotta let me know if the stream quality is getting fucky. All right? Let's see. So, come on, flip around. With the wet rag on it, it kind of makes it work shitty. I was trying to finish up this sign here for, this is a map going into Slab City and through over to the library. That's gonna be a red line. And the rest is gonna be this purple line, these purple lines in a grid here. And that's like Slab City. But as you can see here, my fucking paint can, my nozzle got all gunked up and spooted everywhere, so I had to stop. I was really in the zone too. I was like, dude, I think I can finish this today, and then that shit out, so now it's at a pause. And that blue line there, that's the canal. It does go under the ground right here. That's the drop right behind the library. So I don't know if I'll paint that in or if I probably will just for accuracy. It'll look cool, but people are going to be driving by on the road. But I feel like a lot of people would stop and take pictures of it as well. I hope people don't deface it, but yeah, we'll see. And then it'll say Slab City Library right here, Slab City Library. And that'll be coming off of the map. Some people are walking in right now. Hi, welcome. Oh, it's Alice. Satan, shut up. Anyway, how was the video quality while I was over there? I'm thinking about, I might show you guys the power setup here. I have before. So it's 104 outside. What's the coolest part of the library? The coolest part of the library is where I was just sitting under the tree. It's a few degrees cooler. But also there's a few fixes that I need to make it a little bit cooler. But yeah, it's cozy, huh? Let's see. This is like somewhat in the sun, so it's probably not totally accurate. It says 102 under here, which is pretty cool. That's pretty good, actually. I'm gonna leave that like right over here for a little while. See what it says. Hi, baby. Let's get you some puppy dog treats. Yeah, I got all this nice spray paint that I'm going to use to fix up our signs and shit. Oh yeah, that one's getting redone too. I got half mine to just spray paint over the library part and repaint the letters because it's not even. Like, I don't remember. I feel like I drew like the letters up and I had somebody else paint over the letters and line it because I had a bunch of other shit going on. So I don't know if I can take credit for the spacing and the line work there. Oh, I think I remember what was going on. Anyway, for those that haven't seen it yet, here's our shitty system. We got a bunch of shitty panels up here that do need to get wired down. Oh shit, I should have ordered some baling wire. I guess I still could maybe. But then it comes in through here and I wired up a really stupid, it's really stupid. I could have done that better. I don't know. I was just trying to get this going. I definitely could have done that better. Looks like a crackhead built it. But anyway, we got power. Jared says, do you get paid to work there? Who would be paying me, dude? This is my establishment. I get by with donations on my YouTube channel. That's how I make it. I'm also selling drinks at the bar here, which I'm trying to train new folks to do, but I haven't been running this space in a few years, and that's why it got ransacked, and that's why I had to build a new system out of shitty materials. So we're bouncing back from that. Huh, Satan. But I did just order a new inverter, so that will improve things. And that is because of your generous donations. So thank you guys all for supporting this project. I think it's especially important to be supporting spaces like this during this time. Let's see. Here at the bar it says, yeah, it's 104, almost 105. The humidity went way down. It was at like 15% Now it's at like almost 0. That's crazy. I mean, I guess it's like almost 10. Yeah, about 10% humidity. That's nuts. Hi. Oh yeah, let's do a little doggy treats. Yeah. You ready? You want this? Nice. Do you want this? Hell yeah. Alright. Garbage. Huh, baby. Huh, baby. Alright. Sweet. Alright. Any other questions? What are we at? We're at 54, almost 55 minutes. Be here for another like 5-ish minutes. My true, unfiltered opinion on civilization and Babylon is a little bit more nuanced than maybe you would expect. I think that we absolutely have potential to build beautiful societies and explore culture, especially in this age where we're all so much more connected than we've ever been. I think the ruling class wants us to forget about that and to blame each other for the downfall of society when it's actually them. Oh shit, that's zoomed in at a dramatic point. The 1%, the ruling class, they're the ones destroying this shit. It's not each other. Anything that distracts you from that is a fucking psyop. That's funny. Anyway, that's not to say we all don't have culpability as well. Because, like, you got to face it, you know, whether knowing or unknowing, you did consent to this. Like, in some way or another. As an American, we've all participated in the destruction of colonialism and capitalism. Except for the, obviously the people who are colonized. Like, that's why the distinction between like POC and BIPOC is important. You know, because, you know, like, as a librarian, I think that words and specifications are extremely important. So, you know, like, and even being BIPOC, like, there is still, like, just because you are, like, from a certain sect of society doesn't mean that you also, like, that you're incapable of participating in imperialism. But also, we are not each other's enemy. The ones orchestrating all of this and benefiting off of this while the rest of us are losing everything is obviously the people that own all the Fortune 500 companies. And, you know, the war racket, the war racketeers. All right, we got 29 people in chat. Somebody has not hit the thumbs up button. Hit the thumbs up button. Also, I'm smoking weed now. And I don't know what I want to do with the rest of my day. I wish that I could be editing, but it's too hot. I've already got this wet rag on the back of my phone so my stream doesn't drop. It seems to be working pretty good. That's what I used to do back in the day. It does work. I'm like tucking you guys in like a little baby. There you go. Here's your little hood. Nice. Awesome. And let's see what the temperature is over here. Yeah, still about 102. So that's about as cool as it gets under the tree here, which I can make it. I could make it drop another degree if I had. I mean, with what is around here, which is actually just garbage. All of the shit that was worth something in my scrapyard, completely gone. Um, and there used to be a number of like crew cabin spaces around the yard. Fucking not anymore. There's like 2 spots that are somewhat livable. Jared says, "Do you still not drink alcohol?" Why the fuck would I go back to drinking alcohol? Hell yeah, Aaron's tossing out the Cash App information in the chat there. Any other questions, comments, burning inquiries while I'm here live? Jared says, "Good for you. Same here." Hell yeah, dude. I'll quit smoking weed and drinking caffeine at some point as well. I want to like go totally clean too, and like keep track of my macros and my micros and like goofy shit like that, and start working out maybe. I don't know, but definitely want to cut sugar and yeah, cut the THC and the caffeine. Just try to be actually straight edge for a little bit. I think that'd be kind of neat. Jared says, "When is the heat wave supposed to be ending for you guys?" It was supposed to break on like this past Monday, and it didn't. I mean, I guess there was like a couple days where it was like 100, 102, but it was still like, you know. But apparently, this upcoming week it's supposed to drop down into like the mid and upper 80s, which, if that were the case and it was like that for a few days, then we're in fucking business here. Where I'm like, if I had known, I don't know. Like, I'm glad I came out when I did, but yeah, I didn't know it was gonna be like that. I probably would have stayed in the city for a few more days and done some editing or something, or gone back to the city for like a week after being here for a few days and then come back, you know. But that's not how it shook out. So I'm kind of just like stuck here until I feel comfortable leaving the space again. Why did Dot leave the slabs, if that's okay to ask? I don't know. She messaged me at some point, but seemed like kind of not really making a lot of sense. So I just kind of was like, okay. I don't know why. She said something about another person pushing her out or something, but I really, truly do not know. But according to all other reports I've heard, she like left amicably. But I have not spoken to Dot. What's the perfect month ago for the cooler weather? You can come to Slabs anytime between October and February. Anytime before or after that, and you know it's starting to get hot, and if you don't know how to handle desert heat, then you don't really want to be here. It's one thing if you're like getting a hotel room or something and coming out for a couple hours out of the day and then going and sitting back in your hotel room. But yeah, like being out in 100+ degrees all day is really challenging physically. I'm wiping out my liner because it's full of sweat. I'm not doing anything. I'm just sitting here, and it's literally like, I know I say like only 104 degrees. Over here it's 102, but that's still like enough to get you sweating. You know, some saunas are like at that temperature. It's just a little sweat. That's why I try to constantly be drinking water. You know, you have to train yourself just fucking whenever you even like think about it, and you need to think about it a lot, like drink water. It's better to drink too much water than not drink enough out here. Can put you in the hospital. All right, we are getting to, yeah. Hey, what's up, Sam? You just showed up right when I was about to say I'm fucking thinking about heading out. Huh, Satan? Been streaming for an hour and 4 minutes. How many of you had a thought about anything that I said? Tell me what that thought was, or those thoughts. Tell me what you thought about during this stream. Let's go. Participate in the chat now. Go. You tell me what you got out of this. I'm not letting you go until you fucking weigh in the chat and or get down with the kickdown. I'm going to take a look and see if folks, since the last scan that I did, have kicked down. Let's take a look. Hi, Satan. You're so cute. So after I bought necessary stuff for the library and for myself, I still have $354 in my PayPal account. I don't know what I'm going to use that for. I'm just sitting on it. But I'm letting you guys know. That's like after ordering a new inverter, getting lumber for the library, and cleaning supplies. Because, like, honestly, I dropped like $100 on fucking just cleaning supplies for the space. Because some of the conditions here are not up to par. See. Digital Hobo says, learned a little bit more about how Slab City is and some history on the Salton Sea. Sam says, congrats on new inverter. Fuck yeah, thanks. I'm excited to get it. And also, at the same time, I'll be using it to test whether we can get deliveries right to the house, or if I have to call somebody up and hassle them until they figure out how to get out here. Hell yeah. Zoe says, I'm happy for you that you'll be living a really healthy life. A lot of people can't quit those things. I mean, I don't know what other people can and can't quit, but it'll be good. Sim Comold says, looking good, sounding good, love you much. Thanks. Hell yeah. All right. I tried to check the money apps here, and I almost shit my stream out, but let's see. So 154 on PayPal, 30 on Venmo, Let's see. And 10 on Cash App. Hell yeah. Let's see, who is that? Janice. Thank you, Janice. Fuck yeah, what a sweetheart. So that's like almost 400 bucks. And that's after getting supplies for the house and other necessary things. That's dope. Like I said, I don't know what I'm going to use that for yet, but you know, I'm not going to like use it on like something stupid for me. Like, we'll see. I'll let you guys know what ends up what it ends up being utilized on. Like I said, I don't want to toss a bunch of money into systems that I'm not sure will be maintained properly. So that's a little bit of an issue. There will be a learning process to reestablish some of the systems here. And we'll see how that goes. And yeah, I'll let you guys know, because I'm not staying here unless I absolutely have to. Like, I would like to do some fixes and some augmentations and some solutions to make this space run better, but I'm not trying to fucking live here long term again. I have other shit to do. So stay tuned. We'll see how it goes. And yeah, I'll be doing updates. But now I'm stoned, so I'm gonna fuck off, and I'll see y'all later. And thank you all for joining me today. Let me know what you'd like to hear me talk about next. And join us in the Discord. All right, I'll see y'all later. Bye.